Alright, I'm going to show you how to hook up a SmartBox bypass cable to a Nissan Sentra. First thing is down here behind the gas tank opening switch we have two 10mm bolts. We're going to want to take those out first. Alright, I got these bolts out. You can see that's just hanging here now. Next thing to take off is this piece. You just get a flathead under the corner here. Pops right over. And then the next piece here, you can see there's kind of a seam here between this front piece and the back, so it's usually best to start it with the flathead up here in the corner. Oh, that popped out pretty easy. Sometimes you get it a little bit and then you got to grab it, pull it the rest of the way down. Alright, and come over here, grab here under the steering wheel. Sometimes, if you don't have to take this out, don't worry about it. Sometimes you have enough room just as is, pulling this back. The next step's going to be getting this fuse box out of the way. It's actually not that hard. There's really just one little plastic tab that locks the whole thing in place. I'm going to try to do it on camera here without really using two hands for real. I'm going to give it a try. Let's see if I can do this. Alright. So if you get the flathead underneath that tab and hold it down. And then while you're holding it down, try to grab this top right corner behind it and start wiggling it forward. There you go, it's about to drop. Okay, so that just comes down. You can set it out of your way. Next thing to take out is going to be the body control module. We just need to take those two screws out so we can bring it closer to us and work on it. I'm going to take those screws out real quick. Alright, now I've got those two screws out. We're going to want to try to take the BCM out, so we're just going to lift up, see how that comes out that hole there, and then try to bring it up front here. Definitely watch your wires, make sure you're not putting too much pressure down here on this metal piece on any of the wires as you're pulling it. It's usually not a problem, but let's see here. Oh, there we go. Just need a little bit of wiggle and it's going to come free. Alright, next step is going to be to hook up our bypass cable to this plug right here. I'm going to go ahead and get that ready for us. So the holes on this BCM wire clip here, they're too small for most of your SmartBox bypass cable probe ends here. So that's why you're going to need to use something like this, the alligator clips with these little needle attachments. I actually made these, but I'll throw up some images of where you can buy them at Auto Parts Store or Amazon. But I'll show you how to get those plugged in. Alright, so it's going to be this white with the blue stripe and the one next to it. That's pink with a white stripe. So the pink with the white stripe is right behind that lime green one there. So the blue with the white, or white with the blue stripe, that's going to be your can high. So usually your red, and then the pink with the white, that's going to be your can low. So you want to just get the needle in right next to the wire. And once you get it in there, kind of just push it down pretty good till it's down just a little bit. Alright, and then we'll go for the second one, which, like I said, is going to be behind this green one. It's pink with a white stripe. Get it in there, kind of push it down some. Alright, so now we're just going to clip on the ends of our regular SmartBox bypass cable onto those needles. Now what those needles and clips also work great for, they work great on a lot of cars, just so you know, not just these Nissans, but also if you got a broken cable and you had to break the ends off or strip them down, you can just grab right onto the clip, grab onto the bare wire, and they're good to go. So I'll go ahead and get those wires clipped on. Alright, so you see I just got the regular SmartBox bypass cable probes clipped onto in those needles, and you want to plug in your bypass cable. You could do this in the beginning, so you don't have to do it with it all taken down, because now it's kind of just hanging here. But if you get it plugged in, there we go. And then we'll plug in our SmartBox OBD cable into the end here, and then we're ready to go to programming. We're going to be programming a new key to this vehicle using the SmartBox. First thing we're going to do is hit program keyless. We do already have our bypass cable connected over here to the VCM. Alright, it's telling us we'll need to reprogram the original keys, and we can only program up to 2 unprogrammed keys in each cycle. Alright, turn the ignition on. It's just one click in this vehicle. Oh yeah, and I do have a jumper pack connected to this vehicle. You do not want the voltage to drop during the reading of the pin code procedure. Alright, it's going to take about 6 minutes, so I'll go ahead and pause the video. Alright, the wait time is over. We got our pin code. If you save this number for this VIN number, if a customer ever calls you back with no keys, you would be able to use this number for all keys lost in the future on this vehicle. Alright, turn the ignition off. Hazards on. Alright, we're going to need to do this with our old key and our new key, so I'll start with the original key. Just set it right on the face of the start button there, just like that. Alright, that it identified it as an existing key, so we're going to need to do our next key here, so I'll hit identify next key. Take our new key, same thing, place it over the face of the start button right there, and just leave it like that. Alright, now we have one new key, one old key. Continue to programming. Now you can just leave that same key there, or you could switch it out to the other key if you wanted. It's up to you. Alright, we're going to program next key to re-add the original. Move that one out of the way. Set that one right there. Alright, 2 keys programmed. It's telling us to check our remotes. Alright, old one's working. New one's working. Alright, now I'm assuming that we're probably not going to be able to turn the ignition on with proximity right now. That's what I thought. It does usually happen on these vehicles, that the proximity doesn't work immediately after programming. So it's telling us that we're going to need to use the repair remote functions after we complete the rest of this procedure. So we'll just hit continue. Alright, so first we're going to do the DTC codes, and then we're going to do the repair remote function. So we'll use this function real quick. Now, typically are going to have to use the head of one of the keys, hold it there, click it and hold it there to turn it on, because the prox isn't working right now. It's okay, continue. Alright, real quick, that was successful. Now we'll use the repair remote functions. Alright, we already do have the ignition on from the clearing of the DTC codes. Alright, so this vehicle uses the 4-button without remote start option. Alright, great. Now I'll turn the ignition off here so we can test, turn the hazards off too, so we can test that the proximity features are working again on these remotes. So I'll just kind of set them here on the passenger seat and we'll check now. And it turned right on. So that fixed the proximity functions, and now we have a new working remote for this vehicle. Alright, now we're going to put it all back together. So we'll just pop our needles out here. And then we got to get the BCM back in place. So it might take a little bit of wiggling to get the wires all past everything. If you get it back there, then you want to line up that tab, there you go, in that hole, and then pull it down so that way our screw holes are lined up there. So now we're gonna put our other screws back in. Alright, those screws are back in, so we gotta get the fuse box back in place. Just wanna lift it up there. Okay, and then we wanna line up the tab with the previous hole that it was in. So you kind of want to pull it out so you can get that metal piece to slide in these grooves here on the top and the bottom, and then just push it until it clicks, and now it's back in there. Then we're just going to want to pop this back into place. Usually you want to pay attention to these tabs over here first. You want to get them up into that hole there. Here, sorry, it's kind of hard to see what I'm talking about. We want to line that up with that hole, and the next one up with that hole. Alright, once you kind of get those popped in, then you come up to the top, lift it up right under the vent, pop it in. And down on the bottom here, just give it a pop. Side piece clicks back into place. And then all we need to do is put in our bolts for that switch, which kind of got lost, but it's down here. So we'll put the 2 bolts back in, and then we'll be done.